All right, we go to wide receivers here, and this is headlined by Darnell Mooney, who just misses our threshold at 49%, but still have to talk about Mooney, who was banged up coming into the year. He only had 4 targets, 2 catches, 20 yards, but the reality is here, Jay, Michael Penix needs another wide receiver. It just can't be Drake London all the time. This game also felt like a very strange script where just nobody was scoring touchdowns.
It's very strange. It's a strange offense at the moment in Atlanta, where I believe they're bottom 3 in terms of pass rate over expectation, which makes sense when you have Bijan Robinson, but they have a super favorable matchup against the Panthers. Commanders' defense doesn't scare you. Bills as well after the bye. It doesn't scare you, Matthew. No one's afraid. There is no fear in that defense. And then the Bills, who were great against the Jets, but overall haven't been an amazing defense for the past half season or so. I think the Falcons are now, from a pass game perspective, one of the easiest teams to understand. There's only 3 guys on the field. Yeah. It's Drake London, Darnell Mooney, and Kyle Pitts. And then Ray McLeod comes in a little bit of time, does his Ray McLeod thing. But for the most part, it's just those 3 guys. Drake London's going to be the workhorse. Darnell Mooney's going to be the deep threat. And it's just whether Penix, who hasn't really been bombing threes as we expected so far. I think that'll develop as the season goes forward. But Darnell Mooney, if you need like a high upside play in a given week, then he does have a chance of catching a long touchdown.
100% route participation in week 2, got a 19% target share. Again, it was such a weird game, again, with no touchdowns scored, and the Falcons did what they needed to do on the road at Minnesota.
There it goes.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I don't know. How long do you have? What's wrong with me? How long do you have?
I bring my own pen now because of that.
So
it gives you an insurance pen.
Yeah, I need a backup pen.
Yes.
I need a handcuff pen.
When we show up to the studio every day, there's 3 pens on the desk. I bring one, so Matthew has 2.
Yeah.
Now you have Tyler Algier in your hand.
I do. This is, Tyler the pen here. Anyway, Darnell Mooney. We like Darnell Mooney. And next game, they play the Panthers this week.
So the worst run defense.
Yeah, exactly. So, Bijan will probably throw it to Darnell.
The old halfback pass. Great play. Troy Franklin,
oh, boy.
97% available. Is
this show over yet?
No, we still got 29 minutes.
Right.
Troy Franklin, this is one where he's available in your league. 97% available, and there's a chance that this is the Broncos' number 2 wide receiver now, Matthew. Drafted as a deep threat. Look at the route tree here. A little bit more varied for Bo Nix. Obviously, a long bit of chemistry with Bo Nix going back to college. This is very promising to me.
Yeah. This route tree is really, to me, this is the most impressive thing right here because that was the concern. I felt like that was the knock on Troy Franklin coming out of college, that he was going to be one-trick pony. And so he's clearly expanded his route tree. Look, through 2 games, he leads the Broncos in targets, receptions, receiving yards, 30% target share in week 2, 88% route participation. Shout out to Dwayne McFarland of FantasyLife.com. All the utilization stats are from Dwayne and FantasyLife.com. We thought that somebody would emerge in this offense as the number 2 opposite Courtland Sutton. Candidly, I thought it was going to be Marvin Mims, but it appears it's going to be, that it is Troy Franklin. He's a 5th-round rookie last year, right?
Right, that I thought should have been a 2nd-round rookie, and he did nothing his rookie year. It was a really, really bad start. But when you have speed, you have chemistry with the quarterback, and he leaned into development this summer, I truly think this is the Broncos' number 2 wide receiver now.
He played more snaps than Courtland Sutton against the Colts, and he looked fantastic. And Bo Nix, who I still didn't think played great against the Colts, but played better. And at least he played, I thought, poorly in a way that at least lended itself to putting up counting stats. So this offense under Sean Payton with a great offensive line, there's going to be stats to be had, and he's clearly the number 2 guy at worst.
At worst.
In the offense.
Yeah, I'm not ready to write off Courtland Sutton just yet. No. But he is a member of the 0-2 live at noon on the tube. Yeah. So
to be fair, he's not going to get the ghost of Xavier Howard to go up against every week because Travarius Ward was out and Xavier Howard had to play every single snap. Yeah. And they went 8 for 8 targeting Xavier Howard, and he had 3 penalties on the same drive. Wow. So not a great day for Xavier Howard, but ultimately Troy Franklin I think has to be rostered in every league.
Connor, very exciting that the Giants finally have a deep threat in Wan'Dale Robinson.
My goodness. I mean, where did this come from? Wan'Dale Robinson, this is a Giants team that everybody knew they need some kind of number 2 target. They brought back Darius Slayton. You know what Malik Neighbors is. But 10 targets, Matthew? 10 targets? Wait, now, this script was nuts. And Russ was absolutely chucking the ball. I don't think we'll ever see a Russ game of this standard the rest of the way in terms of passing yardage. But can Wan'Dale Robinson do half of this every week going forward? That would be nice.
I think so. I mean, in both games this season, he's had a 25% target share. I feel like the loss of the Giants to the Cowboys was not on the offense. Russ threw a bad pick. That was a bad pick that he threw, but like generally speaking, they they moved the ball. They moved the ball very well. They let Russ cook. Russ did, in fact, cook. That loss was on the defense and, candidly, the coaching. Like, I think poorly coached down the stretch. But, like, I feel like there is – Wan'Dale Robinson is somebody who I think was a second-round pick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's somebody that had talent coming out of college that they liked a lot, and so the production has been there. Like, yes, game 2 was nuts, but the fact that he had the big target share in week number 1, he's playing Kansas City this week that's allowed the second highest catch rate to the slot so far this year. So even if Wan'Dale isn't averaging over 16 yards a catch, the way he did, like, he's still going to be involved in an offense that is going to struggle to run the ball against Kansas City. Kyle S. wants to know, should I target Wan'Dale or Scatabo? You are a member of the New York media, Connor Rogers.
Slightly.
You're an Emmy-losing reporter
yes.
of
and
the New
now
York.
Emmy nominated again to lose again.
Oh my gosh,
yes,
there you go.
It could happen again.
Come on,
Yes,
Zeal.
yes. Come on, Zeal.
If these are the options you're giving me here, Kyle S., I'm going to take Wan'Dale just because the Giants' offensive line is getting no push in the run game. You hope Scatabo can score a touchdown, but Giants should be throwing a lot. And you brought up the target share with Wan'Dale. For me, the answer to this is clearly Wan'Dale.
I think so too, because I think Wan'Dale is not going to get game scripted out. Like, I don't see a scenario where they're up by so much that they're just running. Like, because again, Wan'Dale is in some ways part of their running game. When they can't run, they're using these short passes to Wan'Dale, like at least in week 1, and we've seen that in previous seasons. And so, and obviously if they're negative game script, which you think would be on more often than not, he's going to be part of that passing attack. So I agree with that. I prefer Robinson to Scatabo.
I mean, they even threw Devin Singletary a screen in overtime.
Yeah.
Like, there are 3 running backs showing up on the field for this team right now. Romeo Doubs, our next wide receiver, 84% available. They got the Browns at Cleveland. 5 targets here, Jay, and he gets the touchdown. I mean, Jaden Reed hurt now. We know how the rest of this wide receiver room constantly rotates. Yes, Tucker Kraft, your man, absolute beast. But is Doubs the most reliable receiver in this offense?
Yeah, if we're not counting Tucker Kraft as a wide receiver, which he's not, but in terms of pass catches that have him, but Romeo Doubs is kind of the spiritual embodiment of this Green Bay Packers pass catch room, where it's like we're just playing roulette every week with these guys. But I do feel like Doubs, just because he's been there for a while now and he has a rapport with Jordan Love, he is perhaps the safest week to week. It's difficult, though. You don't feel good about any of these guys.
That's the key, right? I think he has the best floor of all the Packers wide receivers, but upsides-wise, I'm still betting on Golden, and I'd actually prefer Dontavian Wicks as a pickup this week if I'm looking for upside. Wicks has been productive when he's gotten an opportunity. He had a 22% target share against Washington last Thursday. But to your point, Doubs, there's just a floor there with Doubs, who's been there. He leads the Packers, wide receivers in end zone targets and red zone targets so far this year. He's had at least an 18% target share in the 2 games the Packers have played. So again, if you need a floor guy, Doubs is the person. If you want to swing for the fences, I think Wicks is the better pickup.
Yeah, if you need 4 for 40 and a 25% chance at a touchdown, Romeo Doubs is your man.
Yes.
If Jordan Love finds Golden on one of these deep balls, though, that narrative will turn. But it has to happen.
It has to happen. That's
Simple
right.
as it. How about some deep league wide receiver targets? And the name at the top is my favorite, Elikayo Manor. This is probably your last. I think it's your last chance to get him this week in all leagues.
1,000%. He's 92% available. Made the great catch in the end zone there as well. We've talked about him quite a bit. Connor loves him, but you know whose team he is on in our league? Me. This guy.
Of course.
I don't know why you didn't
No
pick
room
him up.
for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Top scoring team doesn't need him.
Yeah, fair
love
enough.
him,
but anyway, he's the number 2 wide receiver on an offense that's going to throw. We think Cam Ward's going to be pretty good. He's just 2 tough matchups for the Titans so far. Diami Brown was my desperation long play that I gave out on Fantasy Football pregame this Sunday morning. Scores a touchdown, drops a touchdown. What are you going to do? Mixed bag. But they're playing a lot of 3 wide receiver sets in Jacksonville. They're going to be throwing a lot, and Diami Brown is the 3rd wide receiver after, of course, BTJ and Travis Hunter. Speaking of Hunter, how about Hunter Renfrow? Oh, there you go. Look at me, broadcast professional. Yo, Todd Zeal, I'm coming for your Emmy. Like, I can't believe this stat I'm about to give, Connor Rogers, but Hunter Renfrow, who's literally your height, Hunter Renfrow leads the team in red zone targets. He had 3 end zone targets in week number 2. Xavier Legette, we love Xavier Legette, friend of the podcast. It's not happening. Xavier Legette, it does not look pretty so far. And so they need a number 2 for Bryce Young. And until Jalen Coker comes back, it's Hunter Renfrow. The Panthers this week play the
Falcons.
So
the
they're
Falcons.
5.5
Yeah,
point dogs.
yeah,
Probably no
yeah.
AJ Terrell. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, this team's going to have to throw a lot.
I think
the
that
defense is terrible.
I think they've been down at halftime both weeks 20-3.
Yeah.
So they come out of the half like, okay, Bryce Young,
Yeah.
warm up that arm because
Yeah.
it's all you're going to be doing.
And it hasn't been good for Bryce Young so far, but I think that he is at a level where he can feed guys in a throw script in the second half, which he has.
Yeah, and last one I'll just mention is Tyquan Thornton. 80% route participation so far this season. He caught the deep touchdown against the Eagles as well. Like, again, it's Hollywood Brown and Kelsey, but at least until we see Rice or Worthy back, Tyquan Thornton in deeper leagues, has some speed, and they're clearly using him.
All right, our tight ends here for the week, guys. Jawan Johnson, 56%
My
available.
guy.
Jawan Johnson, who once upon a time won you a fantasy championship.
Yes, he did. We talked about, I may have to bring him back for the reunion. We may have to have a reunion. Celebrate that championship because
Get the vibes
yeah,
back.
at the moment we're not hanging any banners this year. But we talked about Jawan Johnson on this show last week, and you should have picked him up then because all he did was have a huge game in week 2, 5 for 49 and a touchdown. So far this season, he's got a 27% target share. That's third highest among tight ends. He leads the Saints in red zone targets. He's had an end zone target in both games. Jay Croucher. And it's a nice matchup with Seattle as they allow the most fantasy points to opposing tight ends so far this year.
Spencer Rattler's been kind of good.
Competent.
Like, he's
Right.
been
He's been
solid
competent.
2 weeks in. He's like a top 10 graded quarterback by PFF grade. That matches the eye test. Like, yeah, he's not amazing, but he is very confident that he can get the ball to these guys.
Our last tight end, Harold Fannin here, Jay, 58% available. 5 catches, 48 yards, a little bit of a dip from week 1, but you get 10 points out of a waiver wire tight end. Fannin has a consistent role in this offense.
Exactly.
He does, and I think he just needs to be viewed as like a legitimate tight end too. This team is going to have to throw a lot. We'll see who the quarterback is in a couple of weeks, but Fannin has the rapport with Joe Flacco so far, and we've got 2 weeks of evidence now that he can very much coexist with David Njoku. As you always say, Connor, you don't look at him like he's a tight end. He is a wide receiver who is eligible at tight end.
Packers allow the 5th most yards per game to tight ends so far in this season. Zach Ertz had the touchdown against them last Thursday night. Fannin's usage, while it down, it was enough to be like, oh yeah, okay, week 1 wasn't a fluke. Like, he's going to get used. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.